Hello there, you're welcome to Business Live with me, Charles Aite. Here's what's coming up in the next 30 minutes. Oil marketing companies to fully adjust their prices in line with the recent hike in levies and taxes regarding petrol and fuel prices. Also, over 1 billion Ghana cedis has been mobilized in taxes just under a year from activities of oil marketing companies and bulk oil distributors. Plus, MTN indicates application of 1% COVID-19 levy will affect all services offered to subscribers. Hello once again, you're welcome to the program. Oil marketing companies are expected to fully adjust prices in line with the new taxes and levies. We shall give you details of these stories and more after this break this day. Hello and welcome to the program. Expect to pay more for prices of goods and services that attract VAT and the 1% COVID-19 health recovery levy this week. Now, you feel the budget is expected to go up as well as following the application of some levies on these products. We have details on these levies and how it will impact your pocket in the following week in this report.
Hike in prices is due to changes in the VAT rate and other levies that make up the total taxes that will be paid by the consumer. This means the final tax to be paid on each good by consumers will be 19.5%. That's if you add the VAT rate, National Health Insurance Levy, Get Fund Levy, and COVID-19 Health Sector Recovery Levy, while the effective flat rate is expected to be 4.03%. Now, VAT is a consumption tax, so anytime that a good is bought from the production chain to consumption, VAT will be paid. Applying these new levies on any commodity or service will result in prices going up. For instance, Joy Business checks with some hotels show that they will be reviewing their prices for their menus. Also, transport fares are expected to go up, looking at the rate of increase that have seen over the past 3 months. This will make it difficult for Transport Ministry to convince the various transport unions not to increase their fares this month. But looking at how the economy is structured, increasing fares could also complicate matters and lead to hikes in cost of production for businesses and individuals. On the back of COVID-19, some businesses are worried it could worsen their plight.
Whenever we're talking of taxes, one institution that comes to mind is that of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Well, Joy Business Editor George Raffi has been speaking with the Commissioner General of the GRA, Reverend Amishada Amwa, on these new taxes and ensuring tax compliance amid these introductions of taxes and levies.
It's both sides. We have those waivers or suspensions that we have done. And for them, those ones, we indicated when it will start. For example, the VIT, the Very Income Tax, and the tax stamp suspensions, it was indicated start at the end of the second, quarter. So automatically, once the process is done, we will have to pay for the first quarter, and then the other ones we have to do. Now, when it comes to the other tax that were introduced, once the appropriation has been done, it's for the date that has been given is when we will do it. For example, if I come to you and I have to pay the tax in let's say, if I'm able to come to you in May, but it's supposed to start from the 1st of April, then it is your duty to ensure that you have started the necessary accruals, so that when we come, you have to make sure that you are paying from the date when the tax became due. So automatically, that is how it's going to work. There are specific ones like what we had with the communication service tax, where there was issues about the people tweaking their system and therefore not being able to calculate. If anything like that happens, we will do administrative discussions, and then we will see what is the best way to approach. I mean, I remember if last year when we did the communication tax, we had to engage with the players in the industry and then discuss with them and engage with the ministry, and then based upon the tweaking, we're able to determine the date when it will start. So these sort of engagements will also take place. But as far as possible, the effective date will be when the law was amended.
Interesting. It means that if the law has been amended today, it is taken up today.
Yes. I mean, what I mean by when Parliament has passed it, then it's taken off. Now, the issue about we being able to put everything together and coming to you does not necessarily change the date. Because, for example, if we come to you, because once it starts, you as the taxpayer will have to start knowing how you have to accrue to pay. Let's say, for example, if you talk about the banks, again, even though it will be a kind of end of the year thing, they have to start knowing how to accrue towards it and knowing that a part of their budget, this is the tax that they have to pay. When it comes to the ones on the levies on the petroleum and the other ones also, it's also the effective date that it will come, which it will start being applicable. So internally, we are also making sure that our processes and our things that we have to do also are done to ensure that it becomes effective as soon as it's passed. Where there are any challenges, there will be engagement with the necessary stakeholders to ensure that the right thing is done.
Commissioner, one thing that COVID has taught us about the power of automation and tech in tax collection, which I believe they did a lot of trick for you or improve your situation. As we speak right now, the authority, what is the status of automating collections to make it easier for me and those businesses out there that want to be tax compliant and committed to their taxes, but they are struggling in connecting with you and not walking to your office's queue and all the rest to pay the taxes? What is the status of your whole automation process?
Yeah, I think one of the things I mentioned to the staff when I met them at the beginning of the year is the fact that for us, we don't want to sink the refrain that says because of COVID, but we rather want to say in spite of COVID. And there are a number of things that we did in spite of COVID. Because in spite of COVID, we exceeded the tax budget. In spite of COVID, we implemented the ICAMs and ensured that for the first time, now people who are paying their custom duties do not need to go and look for two banks and be able to pay either by cash and depositing it to the bank.
There with the Commissioner General. Back to our top story. Oil marketing companies are expected to fully adjust prices in line with the new taxes and levies in the 2021 budget from Tuesday, May 4. This is what Joy Business is picking up from the oil marketing companies. They cite the delay in reviewing the prices to clearing exiting stocks. Others also maintain that today being a holiday poses some difficulty in carrying out the required administrative changes and calibration of the system, but promise that things will change from Tuesday. Meanwhile, the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amoah, engaged some of these firms, and he joins us via phone for some updates. So, Duncan, we're grateful that you joined us. Whilst we have this grace period, have you now gone with, how far have you gone with your protest against, MPA to scrap the levy totally?
Let me say good evening to you and to your viewers. Indeed, we have requested that the NPA suspend the abnormal increases that it has unilaterally engaged in. I talk in reference to increase in UPPF margin by 3%, increase in PDM margin on the price build-up by another 3%, increase in fuel margin by 5%, and increase in both margin by 6%. These are avoidable increases, and we do think that the NPA is going so. It's taking to the NPA now arrogating the power of imposing direct taxes on the people, because these are charges not going to be borne by the industry, but by the truck driver. And we do think that that whole NPA Act 691 of 2005 would need to be looked at again, that the NPA unilaterally have the mandate to slap these charges on Ghanaians as well, or it would also have to go through the very processes that even the finance minister goes through whenever he needs to get a little more money by way of taxation. So clearly, we think that what the MPA has done is needless. It is also
we catch that particular drift, but the question to you is, how far with the entire movement that you've been able to enact to ensure that this particular increase, this levy, is scrapped totally?
What I can confirm for you is that the Energy Minister has taken an interest in this. He has assured that tomorrow he will sit with all of us to find a solution to what it is we all are saying. We believe strongly that for who he is and what he says he will do, Ghanaians would probably get some relief after the meeting tomorrow. The days thereafter, what I know for a fact is that quite a good number of organized bodies, including the CUC itself, will be getting ready with a protest if we do not get a reversal of these needless margins that the NPA is slapping on all
Great.
of us.
So two things we're picking up from your submission. You're going to be meeting the Energy Minister tomorrow, out of which, based on the outcome, if the players are not satisfied, there could be a protest, a demonstration against these increments. But per your forecast, how is the outlook looking like regarding fuel prices in the country?
I can confirm that I bought some today myself. And it's not funny if you are having to cough out 300 cedis, 200 cedis, 400 cedis, knowing this will run out in a matter of a few days. And so you can imagine when the new taxes that the Finance Ministry has sought parliamentary approval for comes, and if the NPA doesn't reverse its tariffs or charges also, and the OMC is also adding a little to sustain their operation. If you don't tackle these things, I'm quite certain that even in the absence of COPEC leading a charge, Ghanaians themselves would definitely find a way to reject these increases. But I can say for a fact, without equivocation, that if nothing changes, we'll definitely be out there on the street for as many days as possible, because a double slap is what we call this. Finance Ministry is asking for 30%. The NPA is on its own adding 17%. Industry is also adding about 15%. If you put all together 62% every single liter, that is quite a huge, increase. And the only thing that you and I could foresee happening is that cost of living is just going to go up drastically, as transport operators are already incubating. By Wednesday, they would also be, increasing transport fares. These are not very good things.
Duncan, let's end briefly on the matters regarding the possible increase in transport fares, which remains inevitable. How should we approach negotiations with driver unions moving forward?
That would largely hinge on tomorrow's meeting, like I indicated, with the Energy Ministry. If we do show some sensitivity, at least to their efforts or operations, I'm quite certain that they would also be magnanimous to the Ghanaian commuting public. But if we go ahead to slap 62% per litre or 3 Ghana cedis thereabout per gallon extra on these drivers, knowing if any of them were to do the average 10 gallons they do a day, the buses, the trotro operators, if they do 10 gallons times the 3 Ghana cedis we are adding on, that's 30 Ghana cedis extra to their operation daily. You can imagine how much it will cost them a week, a month, and for that matter for the year. And so if we don't show sensitivity tomorrow, I'm afraid they may come up with something far more drastic than we have seen in recent past.
Duncan, thank you very much for... We're so grateful for your inputs there. Duncan Amoah is with COPEC, helping us understand the fact that there's going to be an emergency meeting with industry players in the fuel industry, together with the Energy Minister. We shall keep a hold on this to give you updates as and when. But still related to taxation, over 1 billion Ghana cedis has been mobilized in taxes just under a year from activities of oil marketing companies and bulk oil distributors. There is more in this report.
The revenue assurance firm Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited (SML) currently monitors all the existing depots of the oil marketing firms and bulk oil firms in the country. Prior to the introduction of SML, there were some serious leakages and under-declaration of the volumes lifted by some oil marketing companies and bulk oil distribution companies. Since its deployment of the electronic metering system (EMS) in June last year, it has already saved the country more than 1 billion Ghana cedis. Christian Tetesoti is the managing director of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited.
In terms of monetary value, the terms, the additional revenue as compared to 2019 has been 1 billion and over. So our presence in our monitoring, I can say, has been very effective. What we can say is that the volumes that were being declared have suddenly gone up. And so one could infer that maybe in the past, the volumes that were being declared were not the right volumes. I'm just saying one could infer.
There are also plans to extend the services to other areas, including bonded warehouses. Christian Soti shares steps taken so far.
And currently, we've been asked to do a feasibility and survey the warehouses and come out with a report as to how it could be done. And we are finished with the survey and the feasibility, and the report has been given to the GNRE. When we are given the go-ahead, then we can expand into that area also and do the monitoring and provide assurance for those bonded warehouses. We surveyed about 300 warehouses across Greater Accra, Western region, and Ashanti region. And so we are waiting. And I believe that when we are given the go-ahead, we can then roll out into those areas.
SML is currently not connected to Ghana Revenue Authority's Integrated Customs Management System, ICOMS. Once done, SML will have access to declaration, products lifted through to payment to ensure the country is not shortchanged. For Joy Business from Tema, this has been Kwame Yanka.
Now, telecoms operator MTN has indicated that the application of the COVID-19 Health Recovery Levy will affect all services offered to subscribers. MTN in a press release noted that apart from data and call tariffs, all services on its platform will also be amended. This will include mobile bundle purchases, fiber to home, third-party applications and mobile money transactions, as well as their international roaming charges. Let's pull out a statement they issued regarding this matter. It states that MTN Ghana has announced an adjustment of its tariffs following the introduction of the 1% COVID-19 Health Recovery Levy, as already stated. Now, the tariffs for all voice calls, data and SMS have been amended to reflect the new requirement. The adjustment will also be made across all services and platforms. This includes mobile bundle purchases, the usage of fiber to home and businesses, and all the matters, including mobile money and prepaid services. Commenting on the tariff adjustment, the Chief Corporate Services Executive of MTN Ghana, Mr. Cranton, said that we are implementing this marginal adjustment in our tariffs to comply with the new law. We shall have a clear update on this one for you in our subsequent bulletins on the impact on call credit, the way forward. Well, the President General of the West African Nobles Forum, Nana Dr. PJ Dankawoso I, has urged corporate Ghana and government not to be weary in the provision of support to orphanages and the vulnerable in society. He made this known when he donated to the Bojuase Children's Home in the Central Region, 50,000 cedis in total. Here's more. Speaking to Joy Business, donating food items and financial support worth 50,000 cedis to the Countryside Children's Welfare Home at Bojuase in the Central Region, Nana Dr. PJ Dankawoso I remarked the urgent need for some government assistance to persons in need.
We want to encourage government to also just put something small aside for these young ones. Corporate world, individuals, and corporate bodies, corporate Ghana, seriously. Even though things are hard, but If you do some of these things, the Lord will bless us and all our businesses will flourish.
The items included dresses and footwear, bags of rice and maize, packs of sanitary materials, gallons of cooking oil, among others. For the past 13 years, Nana Dr. Dankawusi I saw it as a responsibility to support the Countryside Children's Welfare Home. That's how we end Business Life. I'm Charles Aite. Many thanks for watching.